Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Choo-choo. You don't want to be every time,
I
no.
got lost between 7 and 8.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour Show. To head to manhourradio.co. Check out the merchandise page, or check out the blog section as well. We got a great show for you lined up tonight. It's Way or No Way Monday. But before we get too carried away, we have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brandon Beastie Combs. What's going on, Combsy?
What is going on, Michael Buckheister? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? Man, it is good to be here. It's been a lovely couple of days. It was a great weekend. A lot of basketball tournament bracket stuff going on. My bracket was busted, I think, after like the first 3 games. And but no, look, TUSA playing in the World Baseball Classic, about to play in the championship tomorrow, so I'm pumped up about that. But I'm more pumped up about our guest tonight, man. I'm ready to smack down a Packer fan.
we do have a great fan, or a great Greg. Welcome to the show, man.
Oh yeah.
What an intro.
Yeah, it was great. You know, Mike does a great job, but I'm just here because I'm sure that Combsy, for the past 2 months, you've just been aching. 90 million in salary cap, or in money, first overall pick, and how are you guys going to screw it up this year?
They're not going to screw it up. I just talked about this on my Sunday show. I'm impressed with Poles. I like what he's doing. I like the way we're building it. I think we finally have a GM here in Chicago, which is something I've never been able to say. I'm going into an NFL draft where I'm not afraid that they're going to screw it up, because realistically, no matter what they do with that number 9th overall pick, I don't think they can screw it up. Unless they take like a kicker or another tight end out of Notre Dame. Like, I don't think that they can really screw up this draft. And I'm really excited for what the Bears are doing. I loved the trade that they got with the number 1 overall pick for DJ Moore.
Whoa. Hang on, pause.
That they got with it.
Pause, Combs. You were not okay with that about a week ago, were you? You text me like, "Oh, this sucks." I want more.
If you remember, I said I have to see what they do in free agency to find out how this pick plays out, how this trade plays out. And I've seen what they're doing in free agency so far, and I like the trade. I like what they're doing because they put themselves in prime position with that number 9 pick. If Jackson Smith and Jigba is available, if Quentin Johnson is available at 9, they can take one of those 2 wide receivers and to add depth to the wide receiver core, or they can go offensive line. And if they don't go offensive line, they can go with a defensive end, because you might get Jalen Carter to fall to you at 9. So
Greg, you know what I'm hearing here?
They could do a lot of things at number 9.
Greg, do you know what I'm hearing here? I'm hearing it is a great trade if we make the playoffs, but I can't tell you until like next year, right? That's kind of what it sounded like, right?
Well, absolutely. And not only that, but when he said, I wanted to see what they do in free agency, when you haven't eaten in a week, anything you put in your mouth is going to taste good.
Those are facts. But you know what? I like how Buck comes at guys like me or you, Greg, and says, oh, well, maybe if they make the playoffs, it's a good trade. Says the same guy who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but wears a Dallas Cowboys hat every week. He also likes the Green Bay Packers. Like, he's a fan of like 5 different teams. So he just picks whichever one is in the playoff hunt that year. And then he decides that he's a fan of that team. And that's the hat that he goes with. At least you and I only have one damn team that we have to suffer with or thrive with,
You
right?
sound a little bit
Exactly.
jealous.
I'll give you that. And really, the only thing worse than what Buck does is when you're a fan of, and then it's whatever team like LeBron James plays for. And it's like, that's the only thing more annoying.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That would be Buck. Huh?
well, speaking of annoying, Mike LeBlanc is a Aaron Rodgers fan, so he is going to be a Jets fan, or is he? So the first, guys, the first way or no way of the night, we are going to kick it to our man, Green Bay Greg. And Greg, you have been very adamant on your Twitter that you basically hate Aaron Rodgers. You say, get out of town. We don't want to see your ugly mug anymore. But way or no way, you are going to be a Green Bay Packer fan and an Aaron Rodgers fan when he stays in Green Bay for the 2023 NFL season.
There is a 0% chance that's happening. But if it does, I'll play your game. I'd cheer for him because he'd be my quarterback. And my hatred for him is really, it's when he started gaslighting the media when he, was tested positive for COVID. I don't care what anyone's political stance is on COVID, but don't tell people that you were clear when you use the word immunized when everyone else on the planet was using the word vaccinated. He's trying to manipulate the public, and ever since then, everything else became so clear to me about, when he starts saying things like, I'll have a decision soon. Soon to 100-year-old is a lot different than soon to a 6-month-old. This term soon was meant to be, vague. And then he says, I'm going to make a decision when I come out of the darkness. It was later in the year last week on Pat McAfee than it was when he signed his $150 million contract. I just can't believe a damn thing the guy says. So would I cheer for him if he's a Packer? Yes. But when he's a Jet, I'm going Jordan Love. He's my guy. I do have to, and I know I've gone on a rant here, Combsy, you got to find out for me. Is it a simple transfer of ownership when Aaron Rodgers deeds the Bears to Jordan Love? I mean, it's just a signature, right?
Jordan Love's going to have to shell out, and Jordan Love's going to have to prove that he actually is the man. I think that he can be a very good quarterback in this league. I think that, it's the Packers. They don't miss on quarterbacks. I mean, they just don't. And as much as it pains me as a Bears fan to have, watched the 30 plus years of Hall of Fame quarterback play that you guys have had, even though you've only had 2 Super Bowls and you lose in the NFC Championship every year. But I digress.
Facts.
We as Bears fans, what I'm excited for is not so much what the Packers going down, like losing Aaron Rodgers or this. What I'm excited for is that even if Jordan Love is good, the Bears are in good hands too. Mm-hmm. We have a quarterback as well now, and we have a GM that is going to build an offense around him. And that's what I'm excited for. So even if Jordan Love is the real deal, even if the Green Bay Packers are successful for the next 10 to 15 years, they're going to have a battle partner. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a fun division to watch again, which it hasn't been, because let's just face it, over the last 10 to 15 years, it's been the Packers division, and it hasn't been fun to watch. They've run away with it more times than they've had to compete with it, right? Like, other than the last couple of times where, the Vikings have snuck up there, but it's just been a Packers division, and now you're going to have some competition.
Absolutely. And I actually like that too. This morning I was listening to another radio show, and someone said, could the Lions compete for a wild card spot next year? I'm thinking to myself, the NFC North is so wide open next year for exactly everything you said. I would not be surprised if the Lions won the division. I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Bears are still a year away, but the funnest time for me to be a Packer fan was in that late 90s, early 2000s, when, the Bears were relevant, the Packers were relevant, and the Bears, it was like, you can make a legitimate bet with someone and say, who do you think is going to win the division? And everyone's got a fighter's chance at it.
When we're playing in an NFC title game and our quarterback decides to go ride an exercise bike and watch the rest of the game, that's what happens as Bears fans.
If he'd have been smoking a cigarette on that exercise bike, that'd have been the coolest thing ever.
I still hate his ass for that. That to me was like the single biggest kick in the dick to Bears fans ever. Was my leg hurts too much for me to go in the game, but watch me ride this exercise bike. watch me on the sidelines ride this bike while my leg hurts too much to get in the game. But we've got other guys out there that will play with freaking with torn UCLs and and torn ligaments everywhere just to get out there and play. And everybody talks about how tough Jay Cutler was, and in that one instance, man, he was a bitch.
Yeah, I still remember that, and it was that was unfortunate because that was a team where you could have won with a Kirk Cousins, one of
Yes.
those 10 to 15 ranked quarterbacks. If you would have had that type of consistent play, you guys would have been in the Super Bowl. You guys would have won it, and you wouldn't have had to rely on making it there with Rex Grossman.
They cost Brian Urlacher his only Super Bowl,
Mhm.
and it's one of those things, and not only that, but it also pains me even more because they gave Aaron Rodgers his only one.
Yeah.
That's what drives me the most nuts about it,
So,
yeah.
so, guys, let me ask you this question here. Since we do have a Green Bay fan and a Bears fan on the air right now, in Green Bay Big and Combs, who is going to win a Super Bowl first with their respective quarterbacks? And Jordan Love and the Packers, or Justin Fields and the Bears? Greg, you go first.
Wow. As a Packer fan, obviously I'm going to say the Packers, but if I had to put money on it, an amount of money that mattered to me, if I was going to bet actual money, I would honestly bet that the Bears would first, just because I think that what Poles is doing is pretty much saying my entire career is going to live and die by Justin Fields, and there are very few young quarterbacks that I respect as much as him. I think he's the real deal, and I think that Ryan Poles is going to put any living being around him that's going to make him successful.
Combs, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I wish that more Bears fans would listen to guys like myself and you, because there's a lot of Bears fans out here that don't believe in Justin Fields for whatever reason. There is it's like split down the middle. It really is. It's half the fan base loves him, half the fan base is not sold on him, and I'm with you, man. As a Chicago fan, look, I've suffered through a lot of stuff with the Cubs, with the Bears, with the Black. Like, I've suffered through a lot of things, a lot of rebuilds that shouldn't have to happen. But this Bears team, I think, even though the Packers have been a better organization over the last, and I'm not afraid to say it. People got mad at Wilson Contreras for saying the Cardinals are a better organization than the Cubs. Sorry, but it's true. Here in Chicago, we've got a bunch of owners that treat us like we're a small market city. That's what we have in this city. But now we've got Poles here. He is building something here. I like what he's doing. So if to answer this question, I'm going with the Bears too. I believe in what Ryan Poles is doing.
The thing is about Fields is, Jordan Love is going to have to grow both physically and mentally. The thing I like about Fields is, and I'm going to do something that I don't think anyone's ever done in the history of media. I'm going to compare a black quarterback to a white quarterback.
You can't do that.
I know.
It's racist.
Okay. Tell me right now that Justin Fields doesn't remind you of a young John Elway, where he can run but doesn't have to, extremely accurate, and can take a hit like nobody else. That's why I think that he's the real deal. He's got.
What's funny is I've compared him to another white quarterback, and it's a more recent white quarterback, and I compared him to a lot like Josh Allen.
Oh yeah.
A quarterback with size that can run if he needs to, but also has the vision and the arm to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of the Bears fans that aren't sold on him yet are like, oh, Justin Fields, he can't throw first of all, he's running for his life on every down. He's keeping plays alive on just about every down. And 9 times out of 10, he doesn't have anybody that's open. He doesn't have any route runners until now, and hopefully Chase Claypool has learned the offense, because I had a bad taste in my mouth after that trade with him, because it took him too long to learn this offense, and he just did not show up to be the Chase Claypool. But I think having DJ Moore be the number 1 and Chase Claypool being the number 2, I think that's going to help, because I don't think Chase Claypool has the mentality to be a number 1. So we're going to finally see him with an offensive line. We're going to see him with some wide receivers. This is going to be a make or break year for Justin Fields.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is right now they just gave away the number 1 pick in a quarterback heavy draft when but next year, no matter what, they're going to be good enough to win 5, 6, 7 games, even if Justin Fields takes a dump. So you're going to end
Yeah.
up with the 9th, 10th pick next year. So I think that Ryan Poles, I think he put his entire career on Justin Fields, and I think that everyone in that organization knows it. And I don't think anyone's hiding it, because when you pass
And
up,
I think it'll pay off.
what's that?
I said I think it'll pay off.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be a division where we're going to look back at it, 2 years from now and say, yeah, that was, the point. I mean, I can see every team in that division ending up between, the 12-5, 10-7, everyone right in that area,
Buck, when you said Green Bay Greg was going to join us here, man, I really thought I didn't know he was going to be beefing up the Bears so much. Like, Greg, you can come back anytime you want, man.
I know. I honestly, I haven't been on in a while. I'm like, nah, but it's like, it's like beating up on that kid that's already picked on all the time. It's like, but I do have to ask, where do you have your 1985 tattoo? Do you put it on your neck or
I don't have a 1985 tattoo. I don't live in the past. I live in the future. I'm
you
actually
do?
one of the very few fans out there. I'm like that what is that small 25 maybe 30% of fans that actually understand the game and don't just talk about our past winnings. Like, Green Bay fans hold on to the fact that they're great at winning divisions. They don't win
Yeah.
anything else, but they're great at winning divisions.
Hey, give us a home game against a team from California. We'll lose it in the middle of January. By the way, that was the coldest I've ever been in my life. I went to that game. That was cold.
God.
But seriously, that's another thing. Aaron Rodgers ends 2 straight seasons by throwing the ball into triple coverage against the only wide receiver that he's gone out of his way to like that year, whether it was Devontae Adams or Alan Lazard. It's like, and then it's like the year before that, we lose to Tampa Bay, and they kicked the field goal down by 8. It's like, hey, Aaron, take some responsibility. You didn't gain an inch on first down, second down. So of course they're going to, give you some dump off play on third down and then not go for it on fourth. I'm sorry. I've been pissed off with the guy.
Do you think they heard Jordan? Do you think they heard Jordan Love's growth by giving him this 3-year contract and allowing Aaron Rodgers to do what he's done? Do you think they hurt Jordan Love's ability to grow and mature in this league and taking a couple of years away from him?
No, because, I mean, think about this. Name me a Hall of Fame quarterback that's played in the last 30 years, other than Peyton Manning, that is going to make the Hall of Fame and started on day one. Now, 3 years, okay, I get that. That's probably as long as you'd want someone to sit. But all these guys that you can count on for 12, 15 years all sat for a little bit. And that's why I don't think it was wrong for him to sit. I would have been upset if they made him sit another year. Because then you have to take the 5th-year option on a guy that's never started a game. But I think he's going to be fine. I think that if Jordan Love's abilities weren't hurt at all by this. I think that if anything, he learned adversity.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
So let me ask you guys this one question before we let Green Bay Greg go. We see some Vikings fans pop in the chat. Mike Reeves, my chat thing's not working for whatever reason. But Mike Reeves is like in there, and he says blah blah blah. Combs, Bears suck, and so let me ask you guys this question. I feel that the NFC North might be the most competitive division in football. We also said the same thing last year about the AFC West, and we kind of saw what happened there. But Green Bay Greg, is this the most competitive division in football right now? And who wins the division next season?
First of all, I think it is, and I think the only division that's going to challenge it would be the AFC East. If Rodgers does go there, they're going to be extremely competitive too. But I think the Packers are going to win a division, and I think it's going to end up exactly what I said. I think it's going to end on a tiebreaker. They're going to have to go to division record or something like that, because you're going to have at least 2 of the teams ending at 10-7 to win the division.
Combs?
That's crazy. I to be honest with you, I'm riding with the Vikings or the Lions this year. The Vikings are still really good. They're really talented. Granted, they've got freaking prime time reluctant Kirk Cousins. He can't, unless it's a 3:00 start, he can't win a freaking game. Like, I don't understand what it is about Kirk Cousins, but I do like that team. I think they have a solid all around team. I mean that whole Minnesota team is good. They don't have very many holes. In Detroit, I think is an up and coming team. I really do, but I think that I think it's one of them too. I don't think it's the Bears. I think the Bears are still a year away. I agree with GBG on that, but I also think that the Packers are probably a year away under Jordan Love as well.
All right. So, Greg, any closing thoughts before we let you go, man?
No, I just I appreciate you calling me. I'll come on anytime. I just hope this year in the draft we don't take another quarterback in the first round. We don't need one for a while.
Well, you guys, that is all you take in the first round, right? Is quarterbacks and kickers. You don't take receivers. You don't take offensive linemen.
No.
How big of a smack in the face will it be if they go out and trade up to get Jackson Smith and Jigba after Aaron Rodgers leaves? They finally go out and get a wide receiver and weapon.
No, I don't know what I want. I don't care if it's a second round pick that's the best we can get for him, for Rodgers. Whatever that pick is, that's got to be a wide receiver. That would be the funniest thing possible. The trade, the pick that you got for Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Greg, plug your Twitter, because Mike Reed's like, GBG has Twitter. Plug it so we get some followers.
It's Twitter at twist GBG. It's a picture that Mike drew of me. Yeah, I've been pretty vocal lately on the Twitter box for expressing my utter hatred of Aaron Rodgers and everything about him. So.
Wow. All right, Greg. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, anytime, boss.
All right, later.
All right, Combs. That is the infamous GBG, Green Bay Greg over there. I honestly thought he was going to bring some fire and just like push you down, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to go easy on you because he doesn't like he doesn't like picking on
like
short
me,
people.
Man. He's an honest fan.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys. He'll give it to you straight. If his team sucks, he's going to tell you his team sucks. If your team sucks, he's going to tell you. But he's going to be honest with you. He's going to tell you the way that it is. I've always respected that about GBG. I've always respected that about all those guys over there at Twist.
Yeah.
They'll talk shit with the best of them, but they'll also be completely honest about stuff as well.
Yeah. So I just noticed that my camera is like this or like this right now. So whatever. I'll fix it later. It is what it is. But Combs, are you ready for your eye test?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys, this is Combs' eyes test. Let's have it.
Hold
Go.
on. I lost it.
You lost it.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell it went. I had one ready, and now I can't remember what the hell it was. But that's all right. We're going to fly off the cuff because that's what we do. I'm good here. All right, hold on 1 second.
Live, raw, uncut sports talk. What?
I can't hear nothing.
I know. I don't have it
anyway.
hooked up. Next time.
God, you're killing me, Smalls. All right. So my eye test is actually about the Bears. We're coming off of GBG. I really thought that Green Bay Greg was going to tear down the Bears or attempt to tear down the Bears, but I really like what Ryan Poles is doing. I really like what the Chicago Bears are doing. Chicago Bears fans can actually finally sit back and relax. We can sit back and we can rest knowing that our GM is going to do everything he can to make the right moves. He's going to put us in a position to win. He's going to put us in a position to be a successful franchise moving forward into the future. You're about to see a team go from 3 wins to probably about 9 or 10 wins. And then after that, be a team that is talked about being a Super Bowl contender. Now, not only is he going to do it with this draft and build in depth, but you have to remember that next year, when you've got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out of the draft, we are going to have Carolina's number 1 pick. We are going to have Carolina's pick. They are not going to be very good this year. So your pick could end up being in the top 5, 6, maybe even 7 in the draft. You might be able to go out and get a wide receiver like Marvin Harrison to build some depth, more depth in that wide receiving core. There are a lot of things that the Bears can do, and by the end of next year, or by the end of this year, and by the end of next offseason, people are going to be picking the Bears. The Bears are going to be the darling pick of the Super Bowl contenders in the NFC. Bears fans, we've waited for it, we've longed for it, and we finally have it. we finally have an organization that has the right GM, that has the right people in place, that is going to do things to make this a team moving forward. That's Combs' eye test.
All right, guys. So that is Combs' eye test, and he mentioned something that is kind of surprising to me in the end, but we got that number 4 on the way or no way if the Panthers are going to be good or not. But the one thing that you said that kind of really perked my interest, Combs, was the fact that you are betting that the Carolina Panthers will not be very good this season, and next year the Chicago Bears will. But Combs, over at betstamp.app/groups, promo code MANHOUR, you can bet on some future stuff there, and I bet future that the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl next year. So tell people what BetStamp is all about before we get too carried away into the show.
So guys, BetStamp is a great app. You can get on it. You go on the website. It is the Expedia of sports betting. You go on there. You want to bet a game. Like, let's say right now Mexico's playing Japan. They're heading in the 9th inning. Mexico's got a 1-run lead. You want to bet Japan to come back and win this game. You want to see what your best odds are. You can go into BetStamp right now. They were going to have every betting app that is available to you in your region. They're going to have their odds. You can pick the best odds for your money on each game with whatever sports betting app that you want to use. So there are all sorts of them out there. I know right now we've got the promo code. You can get a free $30 to go out there and put a bet in right now. Log onto the app, use promo code MANHOUR, get your free $30. Bet on Team USA tomorrow in the World Baseball Classic. Bet on either Mexico or Japan tomorrow. You bet on some future stuff for the NFL. You can bet on whatever you want to bet on. And they're going to have it in there, and you're going to get the best odds for your money. You're not just presenting like me here. I use PointsBet a lot here in Chicago. That's the biggest one around here. There's a PointsBet right down the street from me. I use it a lot. But now I can go on to BetStamp, and now I might use PointsBet. I might use MGM. I might use, any of these ones that are out there now that I can't think of right now. FanDuel, DraftKings. Any of those right now, whichever one's going to give me the most bang for my buck is the one that I can use. And you can also do parlays on it as well.
You can. Guys, they gave me $185 yesterday to bet just because I didn't have any sports books out there whatsoever, and they give you the minimum deposit of every sports book that there is. So FanDuel, for example, a minimum deposit on FanDuel is $20. BetStamp will give you that $20 to bet for whatever you want on whatever that app is. Combs, with that $185 on Sunday, I'm up $1,400. Up $1,400, and I had to need to put a dime in there with BetStamp. Guys, these guys are fantastic, and I love everything about them so far. Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing
it's a great app. I'm definitely going to be using it. I'm going to be on it quite a bit here. Trying to get rich quick.
Yeah,
so maybe I could find a co-host that doesn't stutter.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
With that being said, we do got to welcome some people into the chat here. I forgot to do that earlier because my pop-up chat isn't working. But we got Mike Rees in the house. He says Green Bay Greg. Greg is always a great host. We got Arthur Brown popping in the chat. He says, Buck, what's good? Man, Combs, my computer shit the bed like last Tuesday, I think it was. Like it wouldn't power on whatsoever, so I had to change a power inverter and a bunch of IT stuff that you wouldn't understand. Arthur Brown was legitimately hurt that we did not have a show last week. And Arthur, I'm definitely apologize to that for you from the bottom of my heart, man, because this is the best damn sports show on the planet. And then we got James in there, and he says, are you guys using BetStamp? Yes, James. Here, I will drop the website in the chat right now. It's bet like you're going to bet, and then stamp like you're going to stamp something, and then .app. So let me drop that in the chat for you. There it is, betstamp.app, app, and use promo code MANHOUR, and that is the only way that you will get your minimum deposit into your PayPal. Like I said, they gave me $185, Combs. I was like, this is
awesome.
Honestly, when we first had that meeting, I'm like, this seems too good to be true, right? I'm like, so I started doing some research on it, 5-star reviews across the board, and they instantly put that money in my account. I was like, whoa, shit. These guys are legit. Let's hook them up. So we have teamed up with them for the next few months here, and hopefully to extend that for a lot further.
Absolutely. And don't forget about our guy, Alpha Rob, here, who commented. I saw your comment over there on the old YouTube there, Alpha Rob. The Bears did not overpay for Edmonds. What the Bears got with Edmonds, and his name's going to escape me, the linebacker that they got from Philadelphia, they got 2 linebackers for $6 million less than what they would have paid Roquan Smith. They got great deals. They got great value for their dollar in those deals. I highly disagree with you on that one, Alpha Rob. The Bears did not overpay for Tremaine Edmonds. The Bears got Tremaine Edmonds for exactly what he would have gotten anywhere else.
So here is the reason why I think they overpaid for him, Combs, because this guy had his career year last year, right? And his career year is, it was pretty good. But if you look at the years before that, he was just an average linebacker. He was getting about 5 tackles a game, maybe breaking 800. He was just that average guy. And then he had this exponentially great year, and now all of a sudden you are wanting to pay him all this money. That seems kind of crazy. I would have let him, maybe sign him to like a 1-year prove-it deal. Prove it to me that you are going to be worth something, not like $30 million or whatever. He definitely overpaid for an average linebacker at best.
I mean, I highly disagree with you. I don't know what – I mean, he's at about exactly what he's been about his entire career. He's been extremely consistent. I believe I think he's averaging I believe somewhere like 75 tackles, solo tackles a season, about 40 assists a season. So it's about 120, combination tackles a season. He's averaging about 2 sacks a season. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are seeing. I don't know what you guys are looking at. And he actually did not. I mean, he had less tackles this year than he's had the last 2 years.
Yep.
So if this was his career year, then great. I mean, because it was a down year from the rest. So I don't believe that they overpaid for him at all. I believe they got him for exactly what he was commanding, for exactly what the market was commanding for a guy like Tremaine Edmonds. And like I said, they got 2 linebackers for $6 million less than they would have had to pay Roquan Smith, who didn't fit in their system anyway. So to me, overall, not only did you get 2 guys for less than what you would have paid one, you also still have the 2 draft picks that you got for trading Roquan Smith.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Like, Ryan Poles is doing great things in Chicago.
He is definitely doing good things. But are you ready for some new news? You got that pulled up, Combsy?
I'm always ready for new news.
Okay. I got the odds. You got the evens. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, guys. So the Cardinals have officially signed David Blau to a 1-year deal. Combs, is he going to be the starter next year in Arizona?
I don't even know who David Blau is.
He was the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He actually had a start last year, if not 2.
Yeah, he's only the starter if they have injury problems. He'll be the starter the day after the new Call of Duty comes out. So the Cardinals signed Zach Pascal to a 2-year deal. Is D-Hop gone?
I think D-Hop wants to be gone. Pretty much any team out there willing to give a trade. I kind of know what the Cardinals are wanting to trade for him. But yeah, I think he's done in Arizona 100%. Nelson Aguilar, Combs.
Deal to the Patriots is all but imminent.
Is it?
For D-Hop.
Think so?
Yeah.
All right, we will find out. Nelson Aguilar has visited the Baltimore Ravens. Does he sign with them?
Probably, and he fits their system. He fits their scheme, and they're going to end up with Lamar Jackson. So yeah, I think Nelson Aguilar fits with the Ravens.
You know why? Because he's not a very good receiver and he drops everything. So you can't drop anything if Lamar can't throw you the ball, right?
And gives Lamar more of a reason to run, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So Damian Harris is signed with the Bills. Does this push them over the edge in January?
No. There's a reason why he was a free agent. I'm just putting it out there. It is what it is.
Agree.
The Browns have signed Josh Dobbs to a 1-year deal. He was a backup for the Tennessee Titans last season. Is this a good move for them?
No.
This song sucks.
Josh Dobbs is overrated.
Yeah.
He's not very good. Ronald Jones has visited the Cowboys. Should they sign him?
No. There's a reason why this is Rojo's third team, possibly in three years. However, he does have 2 Super Bowl rings with the Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. But no, I don't think the Cowboys should sign him at all. The Detroit Lions, speaking of making moves in the North, has signed CJ Garner-Johnson to a deal from the Philadelphia Eagles. Combs, you as the Bear fans, are you starting to get scared of the Lions and like all their moves?
Lions are young. They're up and coming. They're hungry. They're going to be good. They need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. They don't have a good quarterback. The Texans signed Dalton Schultz from the Cowboys. Are the Texans going to surprise anyone this season?
I think the Texans might be a 500 team, Combs, because they are making some moves that are kind of like, oh, okay, maybe they're going in the right direction. Plus, they got the number 2 overall pick. They could definitely make some noise. The Raiders signed OJ Howard, which is the ex Tampa Bay Buccaneer tight end. Is this a good replacement for Darren Waller?
No, God, no. This is a reach and a humongous step down. I thought maybe the Raiders were going to do some good things this offseason, but they have only gotten exponentially worse.
Yeah,
all the way around. Alan Lazard sided with the Jets last week. How big of a move is this?
It is only a big move if the rest of the dominoes fall, as in Odell Beckham Jr. comes, Aaron Rodgers comes, because if not, Alan Lazard himself does not make the Jets better.
Alan Lazard, this is a big sign because it just paves the way for Aaron Rodgers. And look, this team was good last year. This team with Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard is going to be a scary team all the way up into the AFC title game when Aaron Rodgers blows it again.
Yeah. Well, plus their defense is freaking amazing, and they added some pieces to the defense as well. So
yeah.
Alpha Rob, as a Buffalo Bills fan, if Aaron Rodgers does come to the Jets, you should be fairly scared. But Combs, we have carried on long enough. It is time to get into some way or no way of the night. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the first, or it should be the second way or no way of the night. Baker Mayfield says he is not trying to be Tom Brady out there, Combs. But way or no way, with Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they make the playoffs in 2023.
I'm going to say way, just because I like Baker Mayfield. Do I think he is going to be an MVP candidate? No, I don't. But I think he can bring the Bucs to the playoffs. Absolutely. They still have a good wide receiving core. They've got a decent run game. They've got a good offensive line. So, yeah, I would say they're a playoff team.
So when we think of Baker Mayfield, we do not think of a Baker Mayfield that this is his fourth team in like 8 months, right? Or 9 months or whatever it is. I think of Baker Mayfield as the Browns quarterback that led them to the playoffs, that went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs week 2 when he blew out his shoulder. Guys, Baker Mayfield is a damn good quarterback. And also, we have to realize, Combs, that the NFC South is very, very, very weak. You can be 7-10 next year and make the playoffs. The Falcons are the Falcons, at this point. The Saints, we don't even know if they're going to have a top receiver or a running back. And then you have the Panthers, which you said they're pretty much going to suck this year anyways. So basically the question should be, can Baker get them 7 wins this season? And this is a definite way. Guys, Baker Mayfield will probably lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to 10, if not 11 wins this season. Their receiver core, Combs, is really good. The defense is aging a little bit, but they're going to hopefully pick those pieces up in the draft. And, of course, the offensive line should be healthy. I mean, if the offensive line can protect Tom Brady's old ass, they can definitely protect Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I agree.
James says, no way, by the way. Not on Baker, though. Bowles is a horrible coach. This is facts. Todd Bowles he seems like a yes man. He kind of seems like, who was that Cowboys coach that always clapped all the time? Jason Garrett, right?
Yeah. And look, Todd Bowles, he's a player's coach, though. That's the thing. Like, Todd Bowles is a terrible, but the players, they respond to him. So I wouldn't count him out. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that cost them a chance at the playoffs because he makes a dumb decision or something.
Yeah, and Alpha Rob says way on the Bucks. He is with me. He does think the Bucks do make the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are kind of split, kind of down the middle on the chat here. So the next way or no way of the night. One of the head-scratching signings this past week was Gardner Minshew to the Indianapolis Colts. Combs, you know that I am a Gardner Minshew, not really hater, but I hate the fact that people put him up on this pedestal with his short shorts and his handlebar mustache and his good looks, and it just irritates me that he has a nice full head of hair and a nice good beard and I have back hair. It just irritates the piss out of me. But way or no way, he will be day one starter for the Indianapolis Colts in 2023.
Our guy Soup Boss, who is a New England Patriots fan, New England fan through and through, has a sports stiffy for Gardner Minshew.
Facts.
And I think he's going to be wearing a Colts hat this year because I do believe Gardner Minshew will be the day one starter for the Indianapolis Colts. I do believe he is the best quarterback in Indianapolis. Now, I do think that they're going to draft a quarterback, but I don't believe they're going to get a quarterback that is going to be ready year one. So I do think that Gardner Minshew can win that job. And to be honest with you, Gardner Minshew with the Colts, I think that makes them a better team than what they were last year.
Yeah, so this reminds me of the conversation with GBG that we just had. And he brought up an excellent kind of a stat/fact line there, or opinion, whatever you want to talk about it. He says, name me the last Hall of Fame quarterback that started day one. And honestly, I couldn't name anybody besides Peyton, right? And I don't know if you can name anybody either, but the best thing, and I know these stats will tell you, the facts will tell you, because Soupbox came at me with some excellent facts last season when I said this, but I think that any rookie quarterback should should sit at least 9 to 10 games his first year. And Gardner Minshew gives the quarterback that the Colts are going to draft, aka Will Levis, a chance to actually grow, a chance to actually get that cannon in accuracy and just be the quarterback, the winning quarterback that I know he can be in the NFL. And that hates and that pays me because I just bought season tickets to the Colts game, and I don't want to watch Gardner Minshew. I don't want to watch him, but he is the best choice for the Indianapolis Colts right now.
Yeah, I think with that, that year one stuff, name me a quarterback that started year one that didn't that became a Hall of Fame player. I think in about 10 years we're going to have different numbers on that because it's a different NFL now. I do believe that there are quarterbacks that have started year one that are probably on pace to be Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Joe Burrow being one of them. So I do believe that can happen. I mean, hell, my guy Justin Fields played year one, so I do.
No, but he did not start the first game though. We're talking about the starting game number one of the NFL season of his NFL career.
I thought you were talking about year one.
Oh no, starting.
Yeah, I think that Gardner Minshew is a guy that he's just got that swagger about him. Yeah. And the guys, the players, they rally around him. They want to play with him. And so I truly believe in Gardner Minshew, and I believe that the Colts are a much better team than they were with last year with who I can't even remember. who
Matt
their starter was last
Ryan,
year.
Sam
Yeah.
Ellinger, Nick Foles. Who else did they start?
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah. So Alpha Rob says, way on Minshew. Who else do they have? I think I like Sam Ellinger. Like, he is a Texas product. He kind of has that. What's the word I'm looking for? He kind of has that it factor. He was kind of thrown in the fire last year with the first year head coach and Jeff Saturday, a offensive line that was riddled with injuries, a running game that was non-existent. But if you put Sam Ellinger in there with their new head coach, with a healthy JT and a healthy line, I think Sam Ellinger can lead the Colts to the playoffs if he gets the chance to. Combs, any thoughts on that one?
No, I mean, I agree. Like, I really you can't say enough about Gardner Minshew. Like, I really do believe. I believe in the stash. I believe in the hype that he brings. I don't think you can say enough about the guy. He's definitely the Colts' best ability to win.
All right, guys. So moving on to the final way or no way of the night, and it is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are making some moves this offseason. They have traded up to the first overall pick in this year's draft. They just signed Adam Thielen, and they also signed Andy Dalton as well. Combs, with all these moves and all the potential number one overall pick, are the Colts the most are the Colts the best team in the NFC South?
You mean the Panthers?
The Panthers, yes, the Panthers. I'm sorry, Panthers.
Yeah, I just got done talking about the Colts. Yeah, no, they're not. I believe the Saints are the best team in the NFC South. I really like what they did this offseason. They went out and got their quarterback, and they got a damn good quarterback, a guy who puts up top 10 numbers every single year. And I think that they're going to find a way to make it work over there in New Orleans. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC South, and it's going to be a bad division anyway. But I think the Panthers are about maybe a 4 to 5 win team, even with the number one pick, even with Bryce Young. I don't see them being better than a 4 or 5 win team.
So here's the thing about the Carolina Panthers, Combs. Last year, when they traded away CMC, we thought they were tanking. They were done. They were tanking for that number one overall seed, right? And then all of a sudden, they started to win some games. They actually had a much improved running game without CMC on the team. How does that happen, right? Because they become a two-headed monster, a little bit balanced, a little bit more balanced offense. Now that DJ Moore is gone, Adam Thielen is a huge signing for them. I don't know why the Vikings let him walk away the way they did. Yes, he's older and he's been kind of flying under the radar, but Adam Thielen is still a very, very valuable part of any NFL team out there. And then the most underrated signing of the offseason so far is the signing of Andy Dalton. Not because he is a top 10 quarterback in the league, which he is, if he gets the opportunity to, but the fact that he can mentor a young quarterback. Well, Andy Dalton's like 37 years old. He knows he does not have that much left in the tank. And the best way for older generations like myself, Combs, Luke G, Alpha Rob, all those boys out in the chat, the best way to carry on our legacy is to pass it on to the next person. And that's what Andy Dalton is going to want to do to a CJ Stroud or a Anthony Richardson, right? Whoever goes number one quarterback, he is going to want to take them under the wing, and he knows how to make the playoffs. He knows how to lose in the first round playoffs, but he knows how to make the playoffs. He knows how to be great because he is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Playoffs in like 9 years.
It doesn't matter how they made it like 9 years in a row with the shitty ass coach of Marvin Lewis.
Oh my God! Stop it.
What?
See, you only like Andy Dalton because he's got red hair.
No,
and you have a thing for redheads.
Okay,
don't lie.
I mean,
that's why when
we are
when
friends
you came
for
out
a reason.
For my wedding, you were rubbing my back and everything.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I know you got a thing for redheads. Okay. Look,
to be honest, it was very
Andy
weird
Dalton,
that me, you, and Hoffy all have red hair, and we're all like, I'm just saying.
Andy Dalton is just he's not that guy. I mean, I'm sorry, but with Andy Dalton, you're a 4 to 5 win team. And to be honest with you, I forgot that they signed Andy Dalton. I might pick him to only win 2 or 3. Like Andy Dalton is not that guy anymore. He hasn't been that guy. We've been there. We've seen that show. I watched him here in Chicago 2 years ago. He's not that guy.
He is that guy. And my man James over here on Facebook says the same thing. He says Dalton is smart and is going to be a really good quarterback bridge because he knows his role on the team. He is exactly right. He definitely is going to know his role. Know your role, jabroni.
You guys are wrong. That's where you guys are wrong. He doesn't know his role. Andy Dalton still believes he is a starter in this league.
He is. He will start for 8 games.
He's not. He's not a starter. He is not a starter in this league. He is a bona fide backup. He is a bona fide backup that can get you through a couple of games if you need to when your guy goes down. He is not a starter in this league. If you are relying on Andy Dalton to win you games, you are in serious trouble.
So,
They will not win more than 4 or 5 games with Andy Dalton as their quarterback.
So you are telling me that Andy Dalton is just not a very good quarterback. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 years ago in Chicago, when Andy Dalton was a quarterback, who started week 1, Justin Fields or Andy Dalton?
Oh, my God. In Justin Fields' rookie year?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton did. You know why?
Okay.
Because we had a GM and a head coach that couldn't pull their heads out of their asses long enough to do it.
But Andy Dalton started over Justin
Andy
Fields,
Dalton,
right?
Andy Dalton
checking.
started, and you can sit there and you can run it any single way you want to run it.
Okay.
Andy Dalton is not that guy. He's
last
not.
year.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to bet stamp right now, and I'm going to put $100 down that the Carolina Panthers don't win more than 5 games with Andy Dalton as their quarterback.
Futures. But last year, your boy Jameis Winston, Mr. Top 10 quarterback himself, who started over Jameis Winston last year. Was that Andy Dalton too?
First of all, Jameis Winston started, and then Jameis Winston broke like 6 vertebrae in his back, and then Andy Dalton became the starter.
Which he still started more games than Andy Dalton.
Jameis Winston was injured.
Okay, you can twist it however you want, but Andy Dalton started more games than Jameis Winston.
He left because he was hurt. He's exactly what I told you he was. He is a backup who can come in when your quarterback gets hurt. You just proved my point for me.
Everywhere that Andy Dalton has gone, Combs, he has been a starter. Everywhere he goes, he has been a starter, and he has led the team to wins. Tell me I'm wrong. Cincinnati Bengals, what was he?
He lost the starting job to Justin Fields in week 5.
He got hurt.
Of Justin Fields' rookie season.
He got hurt.
He did not have the starting job with the New Orleans Saints last year.
He did.
Until somebody got hurt. He is not... Buck, let's do it right now. Let's put it out there. So we have people on it.
Okay.
$100. I'll put $100 on it right now. I'll give you 4 games. If they win more than 4 games with Andy Dalton as their starter, I'll give you $100. 4 games or less, you give me $100.
Okay. Deal.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
It's out there. You guys heard it. It's a bet.
It is 100%.
I'll come collect on your ginger ass too.
Make sure you bring your stepladder. But Luke G's...
I need a stepladder to get into your pocket.
Yeah, you do. It's been growing lately. Luke G's popping in the chat. What's up, Luke G? If you guys have not subscribed to Luke G's channel, you should. The best damn Detroit Lions show out there. But he says the Carolina Panthers look very much improved. And I do agree with you, Luke G. I agree with you. They are very, very much improved. And Combs, last year, weren't the Panthers 7-10? And if they would have won like their last 2 games, they would have won the South. I'm just.
They would have won the South at being a below 500 team.
Yeah.
First of all, that shows you how shitty the South is. 2, that shows you the Panthers aren't that good. I know they went out and got Adam Thielen. I know they went out and got a couple of other players. It's not in the cards. They're not that good.
So our dude, Alpha Rob, over here at youtube.com/manhour, brings up a great question. He says, this is a little off topic, but I think Mike White is going to take the job from Tua this year. Tua did sign his 5th-year extension, and they signed Mike White to a 1 year, like $10 million deal. I think it was. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that Tua is the prime example of concussions in the NFL. And he is a prime example of how the NFL mishandles them. I don't think that he belongs in the NFL playing still with the concussion issues that he's had. And I think Mike White will take it from him, to be honest with you. Tua has not been an impressive quarterback, even when he's been playing. He has not been an impressive quarterback. He was impressive a little bit at the beginning of this season with Jalen Waddle and the things that they were doing. But I put that more on the yards after catch that Jalen Waddle is able to create more than I do on Tua's little pea shooter. Okay, Tua Tagovailoa should not be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. They should have moved on.
So Arthur Brown says no way. He is a big Tua fan, but Combs, as I do agree with you, which is very, very weird. We very, very, very rarely agree on things, but Tua, when he is in there, Combs, all he does is win. Like, it is just like whatever he does, he wins a lot of football games. And I don't know if that is just a product of the system or he just happens to fall in a good situation, whatever it is. But I am on board with Alpha Rob here. I do not think Tua will finish the season. Mike White will come in at some point in this year and play 5, 6, 7, 8 games. And we saw what Mike White did in New York, Holmes. Those guys want Mike White to succeed. They would rather have Mike White in there than Zach Wilson, than Joe Flacco. And I feel like that's going to carry on to Miami because for whatever, when you just meet a guy and you're like, man, this is a really good guy. Like, I think like Mike White walks into a locker room, like people like, damn, I want to run through a brick wall for this guy. I don't know why, but I do. It just seems weird, right?
And Tua's a hard sneeze away from a career-ending injury.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like, I mean, this guy, if he takes a hit, like you're just going to cringe because I've said this before. I said this last year. I am afraid that at some point we are going to watch Tua die on the field when he gets hit. And that's not me being funny. That's me being sincere.
Yeah.
Like I am afraid for Tua's health. I am afraid for Tua on the football field. He is too small to be playing this game in the NFL. He just is. I'm sorry.
So Luke G pops up in the chat here and he says Mike is not taking anything away from Tua. Now if Tua gets hurt, that is a difference. You are exactly right because if Tua does get hurt, my man from the Kansas State University, Skylar Thompson will lead them into another playoff game.
That's the thing. It's not if Tua gets hurt, it's when.
Is it though? I mean,
let's just face it, man. It's when. He's been hurt. He's been hurt since college.
Has he played a full?
Does not stay healthy.
I don't think he's played a full NFL season because even what was it? A couple years ago when they had Fitz Magic, right? They would kind of call in a relief pitcher in the fourth quarter for Fitz to come to save him. I don't think Tua has played a full season, has he?
He hasn't. And he's just like I'm pulling it up right now, but I'm pretty sure that he hasn't.
Quincy J's popped in the chat, Combs. He says TFG. No, I love the man hour. What's TFG?
10, 13, and 13.
Sheesh.
What is what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
TFG. What's TFG mean? Thank fucking God.
I think these fucking guys. I don't know.
Oh, fuck these guys.
That's the second time I've heard that a few times now.
Quincy Jones, we're like almost 40 here.
I really don't know what it means.
I kind of know what this swag talk is, but Quincy, we love you too.
Thank you, Quincy. I don't know. Let us know what TFG means.
Yeah, I don't.
Quincy, in the chat, let us know what TFG means.
I don't know.
I want to know.
James says, nope. They were talking about Tua was in the MVP conversation last year. Then he got hurt. He was in the MVP conversation for what, 6 weeks, Combs? And then the Miami Dolphins lost like 6 games in a row. That's when that conversation ended, right?
Yeah, I mean, it also ended when he ended up a vegetable after a sack. Like, I mean, and again, like I don't say this stuff like joking around about
Yeah.
Tua. Like, if you are not legitimately concerned for Tua's health after watching him take these hits and the way that that first, or was it the first? No, it was the second one.
The
The
one in
second one,
Cincinnati. Yeah.
it didn't even look hard. It didn't even look hard.
Yeah.
It was a concussion. The one in Cincinnati where they called it a back problem, and then they still put him back into the game. Like it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Tua can't be a quarterback. I'm not saying that Tua can't, but with the concussion issues, with his size, it makes it a problem. It makes it a health problem. Is this guy going to be able to sustain life? Let's say he does play a full NFL season. Let's say he plays another NFL season. Let's say he gets another concussion only 4 or 5 years down the road. What is his quality of life going to be after the NFL? How is he going to raise his kids after the NFL with CTE and brain damage and all this other stuff that we're so concerned about? But we're going to continue to trot this guy out on the field because he might give our team the best chance to win. Like, that's where we as human beings have to stop, take off the fan hat for a second,
Yeah.
and look at this guy as another human being. Would you want, if you saw your brother, your flesh and blood, the guy you were raised with, the guy that you spent every day with growing up, you saw him take that hit. Would you want him to step back on the field if it was your call?
So
Would you say yes, go ahead?
I have a different mentality. I was raised with an iron fist, right? I was raised with like, if a bone is not sticking out of your leg, you are perfectly fine, right? I shattered my leg. I'm talking like I have 2 rods and 26 screws in my leg, and my grandma made me crawl to the couch and sit there because I was not supposed to be in the pool when I wasn't when like she wasn't home. I sat there with a shattered ass leg for 3 hours on a couch until my mom showed up and like got off work. With all that being said, NFL players have they have worked since the age of 7 to get to the level that they are at. They have 4 to 7 years to make life-changing money, right? Just because, like, think about this. Once you make the NFL, your first year, you're like, I'm here. Second year, you are like, okay, now it's time to work my ass off to stay here. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth year, you want to make that generational changing money so your son doesn't have to.
But we're not talking about a torn ACL. We're not talking about rods on the legs. We're not talking about even Tua's hip injury, the Bo Jackson hip injury. Right? Like, we're not even talking about all that. I'm fine if you want to play after that stuff. We're talking about brain damage, man. We're talking about brain damage. We're talking about CTE, which has been known to have guys like Junior Seau take their lives after their career is over.
So with that being said, though, Combs,
that is his life. Like, that's what I am scared for with Tua.
I get what you're saying, and I totally respect it. But you have to realize, back in Junior Seau's year, hell, back when I was in high school in 2002, right? A concussion really wasn't a thing. They kind of swept it under a rug. You know how they asked you if you had a concussion? They're like, "Where are you at? What's the score? Oh, okay, you are good to go." Right? We didn't know anything about that back then. Now we have the science, we have the technology. On my high school team, I have sensors in my kids' heads. If they get too hard, I got to bring them out and check them for a concussion. I think Tua is right to go back out there, Combs. As his brother, as his son, whatever, do it, Dad.
I mean, I don't know. I guess agree to disagree. I'm more thrown off. You were in high school in 2002?
Yeah, I graduated in 2005.
I was in my 4th year of the Marine Corps in 2002.
Yep. I graduated high school in 2005 and graduated college 2011.
How am I this much older than you and look this much better than you?
Because CFL wears you down, man. I'm just working, being an athlete at a higher level. Like, I mean, I turned 35 this year, right? 30. Yeah. Fuck, I don't even know how old I am. I turned upper 30s this year, Combs, and I have to have a specialized pillow or like my neck starts hurting. And if your neck hurts, it takes like 2 weeks to like straighten back out. It is just, it sucks getting old and being an athlete. Alpha Rob says Mike White has a swagger and Tua doesn't. I wouldn't even say it's swagger. I kind of think it's confidence, like kind of that confidence, arrogant thing, right?
He can play ball, man.
Yeah.
I watched Mike White last year. He can play ball. And I think the only reason they just let him go is because they know they're getting Aaron Rodgers. But
are they though?
Yeah, they are.
Only time will
Aaron
tell.
Rodgers will get his way. I mean, Aaron Rodgers gets his way. That's just how it goes.
So I actually just read an article where people that are not with like in this Aaron Rodgers hunt thing, they say that they would not give him a day 2 draft pick to take Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, would you give up a top draft pick for a 40-year-old quarterback?
I would give a late day first round pick, 15 down, because Aaron Rodgers is pissed off, Combs. A pissed off Aaron Rodgers plays really good football.
He was pissed off last year.
No, he wasn't.
He was pissed off last year. And
he was just happy to be there.
He was pissed off the year before. He's been pissed off his whole career. He's won one freaking Super Bowl being pissed off. The guy, I would not get. Me personally, I wouldn't give you anything above a third round.
Let me ask you this: Would you rather have 2 Super Bowls or 7 or 8 13-win seasons?
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and that's all the Super Bowls that the Bears have in their whole career.
It's less, actually.
Sorry. Luke G says, Buck, have you been in the pot jar again? I have not. I do need to get some sugar, and so thank you for reminding me that. Hey, speaking of sugar, Combs, I was at Walmart the other day getting some melatonin, and you know how the melatonin has like that whole aisle of like vitamins and stuff like that, right? There's like 50 million of them. They are right next to the condoms, right? And Walmart sells sex toys now.
Get out of here.
Vibrators and pocket pussies, baby.
Oh boy.
Quincy says, "Let's fucking go" is what LVG means.
Oh, the TFG. So it was a mistake. So it was meant to be LFG. So
right.
Let's fucking go. Hey man, hey, we're happy that you love the show. We're happy that you're hyped about it. That makes us hype. It makes us know that what we're doing is good stuff, and it's stuff that you guys want to see. So we appreciate all the love that we can get. I tell people all the time, it doesn't cost you anything to click like, share, or subscribe.
Right.
So feel free to do all that stuff. The more you share, the more people see, the better we can get.
The sharing is caring. But Combs, we do have some big things happening here on Man Hour starting April 3rd. Tell the people what it's all about.
Starting April 3rd, we're going to move to 2 p.m. It's going to be a 2 p.m. start time. We are going to be your lunch rush. You're going to be on lunch at work. You can throw us on. If you're at a place where you can throw in some AirPods or something, you can listen to us live. You can do all that fun stuff. 2 p.m. is going to be the starting April 3rd. That first week, Buck is going to be on his own because I found out today I got to take a business trip that week. But starting April 3rd, we got 2 p.m. start time.
Yeah, very, very excited to be jumping into the afternoon time slot. Combs and I were bouncing some ideas off of each other, and we're like, you know what? Let's go in direct competition with Pat McAfee and Barstool. 2 p.m. it is, baby, because we're better than they are.
Fuck Barstool.
Yeah, but if Barstool wants us on, don't fuck Barstool. But I'm
fuck him still.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. All right, guys, that is going to be it for tonight's show. Combsy, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up. If the people would have went to best game and put that money in Japan, they would would have won some money. And came back and won that game.
I can't hear you right now. Sorry.